First of all, the reason I went to all this trouble and didn't simply keep the weapon the way it was, which seems my moral right to have the weapon in the first place, and secondly, I bought it legally and so on, why did I go to the trouble of modifying it? Well, because I'm a law-abiding citizen. I don't particularly want the idea of a felony conviction on my head over something that I have a right to have anyway. That's the law. That's the rules. As Scott said in the Trump episode, Trump and North Korea, it's not doesn't serve any purpose to talk about what would be nice. You have to deal with what is. So there's all of that. But I want to just say two things about this that go to motive. First of all, you have to ask yourself why progressives do this. What is it about the AR-15 that they find so offensive? And it is a symbol, it's a totem that they think if you throw the AR-15 into the volcano, the murders will stop. Yeah. I think the reaction of them, the reason they feel so strongly about gun control is because it's a combination of things. Some people are psychologically and emotionally and materially prepared to defend their lives with weapons, and other people are not. And if you're one of the people who are not, it bothers you that some people are able to defend themselves. If you're not capable of the emotional necessity of pulling a gun on somebody and defending your life, if you're not capable of doing that, you don't want anybody to be capable of doing that. You may not recognize that as your motivation, but I think that's a large part of it. A second thing involved is that for so many liberals, it's a perk. Self-protection is a perk. It comes with being a progressive. In other words, big gun banners like Barbara Boxer and Dianne Feinstein have armed security guards. All of these movie stars who talk about how much they want gun control have armed security guards. The ability to have their lives protected for these limousine liberals is a perk of being rich and famous. I have somebody to protect my life with guns because I'm rich and famous and I can afford it. And you can't, so it's another reason why I'm better than you people down in flyover country. These are all parts of the psychology behind it. But the main thing is simply this, I think. You have to understand that the reason that people like me have these weapons is because people like you are trying to take them away from us. It's really just that simple. I have an assault rifle, if you want to call it that. I have a semi-automatic weapon because there are people who are actively trying to take it away from me, a law-abiding citizen. And I've heard many people say, I will stop insisting on owning guns when you stop trying to take them away from us. Folks, this is clear to everybody on the conservative side of the aisle, and it's an utter mystery to people on the left. So let me just spell it out for you. We have these weapons not so that we can fight against the loss of our freedoms by an army or police force or whatever. We have the weapons to deter them from ever making the attempt, you see? To deter them from making the attempt. We want to make it exceedingly difficult for an army or a police state to come and take people out of our homes the way the Jews were taken out of their homes and the kulaks were taken out of their homes and the Chinese intellectuals were taken out of their homes and 200 million people taken out of their homes and shot. We want to deter it, right? That's why we have it. And I'll close just by saying this. My Russian wife, who is a much better shot than me, by the way, is a terrifyingly good shot. She's a photographer. She knows how to hold things still. But she lives in Russia before she came here. And in Moscow, in your apartment, every door on the apartment was steel. And there were 3 or 4 deadlocks on every door. You are essentially locking yourself in a vault at night to keep yourself safe. There are no guns available in Russia. This is to keep yourself from people knocking down the door and knifing you or beating you over the head or whatever. And she said to me one night, Bill, we've got this tiny little deadbolt and we've got this decorative glass around our door. What possible good can this do to keep us safe? And I said, honey, the glass and the door aren't there to keep us safe. The glass is there to wake me up. It's the gun under the bed that keeps us safe. And the fact that people know that American citizens are armed deters them from kicking down the door. Yeah. Because they don't want to get killed. And so by having these things, you see, we're not actually in calling for murder and crime. We are preventing crime by allowing the criminals who are predators upon humanity to understand that there are serious consequences, whether it's from the government or from a guy who's trying to steal your TV set. We are complicating their targeting solution and making that predator have second thoughts about whether or not to attack this particular gazelle, because the horns on this gazelle could be exceedingly sharp. It's really pretty simple. We are peace-loving, peacemaking people. We hate war, and that's why we're prepared for it.